Hey, no, how's it going, my friend?
Uh-huh.
Oh, hello.
Hello there. How are you, Yuri?
All good on my side. How's it going for you?
Likewise, my friend. Likewise.
Nice. Exciting stuff is your token portal.
Trying to push the message, you know?
Whoops.
Mighty Bradley. It's a
Hello.
new angle.
Yeah, this is not it's not intentional. I'm trying to figure out. I just installed Zoom on this computer, so I think I need to pick a different, there we go. That one.
Wow, magic.
That seems
That's
better.
what you get with all of the fancy rig that Bradley has set
There's
up, you know?
yeah, there's too many computers and monitors and you know, hashtag tech life.
You're on your way to being a YouTuber and all of that, right?
I need better lighting, I need a better microphone, yeah. But maybe. So how are you two doing?
Well,
Pretty good. How are you?
how
I'm okay.
with such great company, you have to be well, right?
Who's all the other people?
So let's wait for another minute and then we can start the meeting according to the agenda. And Bradley, you drive, right?
Sure.
You have a
Why not?
steering wheel. Nice.
I can I
I
can
can
read
relax.
it. I can read a Google Doc. Anything interesting coming up this week?
Well, which area do you mean of the interest?
Anything? I got a new a buggy for my bicycle for my dog. So he's getting old now and he has some trouble walking. So I put a little thing on the back of my bike, and now yeah, I can drive him places, and then he can get out and just sit there.
So you're a
Sounds
part-time
pretty.
chauffeur.
Yeah. So that's what's new in my life.
Okay, it's 5 past uh,
Is
an
it five?
hour. Let's,
Yeah. Yeah. My computer time is off, so it's like a couple of minutes somehow.
what happened? NTP servers are down in Switzerland?
I don't know what's happening, but yeah, this is 3 minutes different from my phone. So, okay, it is five after. All right, yeah, so let's get started then, and I'll share my screen if that's all right.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Let's see, I believe we want to do this one. Yeah, let's just do this one. Can you see my screen? No, you can't. Now you can. There we go. Look at that. Good.
Yes.
All right.
For
So
for some for some reason you don't have a document updated just in case. I mean, I just did it myself there
ah,
as attendees. I mean, it's not super important for going through context. It's just observations that for some
range.
reason it's not updated.
I,
Maybe it's
I,
on my side. Maybe it didn't push. I don't know.
I
Eventual consistency. Okay.
I think it has to do with my time being behind by 3 minutes. I'm in some
Oh.
kind of strange zone right now. Okay. Okay, so the three of us are here. The agenda, okay, it looks like we've got a couple of k8gb sessions coming up. Who wants to talk about those?
I can do a quick one on the Porto. So first KCD in Portugal, fired off a suggestion, and it was accepted. So it's compacting basically the same content on our introductory session for k8gb to fit 25 minutes, showing how nicely we load balance and all of that cool stuff, and pushing the message along.
That's great. Yeah,
Amazing news.
I didn't even know that there was a community day coming up there. So that's in just about what, 8 weeks, 7 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Yep. Very cool. All right, and then there's the OSS Summit in Vienna. That's yours, Yuri.
Yeah, I think it has almost exactly the same title actually. So most probably we'll have a very similar contents. I think the CFP was like the ones that you constructed, Nuna, back in the days, right? I had it in Sessionize, and it's focused on content distribution. The one that was rejected for KubeCon NA, I guess, or some of the KubeCons. Yeah, and now it's accepted for OSS Summit. So, and Irji, one of the core maintainers, he kindly agreed to co-present as well. And he lives in Brno, so he's quite close to Austria. So, yeah, it's super convenient for him to get there. So, yeah, good news. We will also make a dual session. So September will be a month of k8gb.
We haven't announced these yet on LinkedIn, for example, right?
Not yet. I think Nuno did Portal one today morning, right? But we didn't announce it like on a project basis. Yeah, I did it like an announcement, personal one, when OSS Summit got accepted. But I think we need to like promote
Yeah.
what the nice thing you did with k8gb organization in LinkedIn.
Yep. Action item noted. There we go. Okay, and then there's a couple of fixes by Andre, which have been merged in here. I don't know if since he's not here, if you want to talk about these at all, Yuri.
Yeah, and Michal joined. Welcome, Michal. So this is actually Andre made a very cool two-stage investigation for flaky Terra tests after we merged the recent enhancement from Michal. Some sensitive balance in our test was broken, and we revealed a lot of inconsistencies. Well, actually, not a lot, but actually these two. And Andrea got to the root of them, and now the tests are stable. So, Michal, good news. So, I think
Yeah,
a lot of racing things are actually
cool.
behind
Cool,
us.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
So yeah, it's a good news overall. So we still we'll have a relaxed plan to play with chainsaw and this stuff, but it's not urgent anymore, right? So it's not annoying. We have a stable test suite. So great news.
Okay.
Michal, maybe like slightly related to the change, how is it going with this ingress loop that you fixed? Did you roll out it in production somewhere in APSA?
No, it's not deployed yet. Basically, it's long running. It's not on the top of our list at the moment. That's issue which lives here quite a long time.
My headphones died, but I think I will be fine.
So we didn't deploy it yet.
Okay, cool. But in any case, great job there. Like, it's also was long-term situation. So super happy with that fix. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Jump on to the next thing here. This issue, reverse proxy support.
Yeah, so basically this is community driven,
Yeah.
and it was created a while ago, as you can see by timestamps, but we didn't evaluate it properly yet, and some other community member just bumped it up for attention, so I promised to discuss it. So high level, if I understand it correctly, and I definitely would like everybody to evaluate if it makes sense. So roughly the situation, somebody is trying to run KGB behind some reverse proxy. So meaning like a real external IPs are not visible to ingress controller, right? So in this situation, the DNS response that is returned by k8gb is not matching the reality. So what people are asking for is some ability to override, possibly with annotation, the returned IP list from some, you know, front-end Cloudflare or something. So like, you know, they want to have an ability to populate this IP list that is coming not directly from ingress controller, but transitively from some, you know, front end that they're managing in their setup. So it looks like reasonable request, but we do obviously need to be careful, right? Because it's it is quite intrusive for KGB standard operation. And Nuna, Michal, maybe you actually like had experience with this kind of similar setup or something, where the IP address or like a host and load balancer and ingress are actually like they internal, right? They're not something that is publicly facing. So it overall sounds like reasonably frequent use case that is described here.
So this is a scenario that would show up in geographical distribution more than like two clusters in some region or whatever, because in that scenario, you would probably have the same reverse proxy, but if you separate them with enough kilometers between them, you probably end up having two different instances of that reverse proxy, and you want to show that external IP of the reverse proxy.
Yeah, pretty much. Or any like, you know, generic setup where you put something in front of your cluster, right? For geographical setup. So basically your ingress objects are not are reflecting only internal status and not the global public status.
Yeah.
So basically here is a proposal, and like a request is to just enable ability to override with annotation, meaning like we don't want to integrate with this reverse proxy or whatever this entity is, but ability to put the annotation and affect directly the IP list. And this way, you know, like people would be able to work around and not integrate directly, but populate this annotation with some automation on their side and basically steer KGB IP return list accordingly. But it obviously, like, you know, it might be fragile, right? If you populate with the wrong data. Yeah.
And I suggest we also look at how that would be implemented without k8gb, meaning that there's an ingress or a gateway in the cluster that is being consumed by the reverse proxy, and that problem exists in that scenario already or not. Because if you're bringing for instance, the Cloudflare proxy to the region and you need to show different endpoints, okay, but it's not k8gb that's introducing that issue. It's a latent issue already in the current implementation, or am I seeing this wrong?
Yeah, but I think in this specific scenario, people already like have this like front-end reverse proxy, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter the implementation.
Mhm.
They have in a backend Kubernetes cluster with KGB enabled. They want KGB to actually affect the DNS responses according to their setup, and they do not have the direct integration with this front-ending thing. So imagine, like, you know, in a there is one front-ending proxy is in North America, another one in Europe. There is no direct connection between the Kubernetes clusters. They're not public facing. There is no like a link, right? Everything is happening within the infra, and they want to actually like, propagate this public DNS response. Like, here's this application is healthy, please go through that reverse proxy to that IP, and then there is some internal routing and proxying happens, right? And
True. But in the scenario where you already have that implemented without k8gb, some DNS server has the proper A record for that. Now, and the issue here is that we're pulling answering that request into k8gb, into our core DNS instance. But if we're going that way for this scenario, certainly answering with a different IP is a valid option, but should we not support different things, like for instance answering with a CNAME? Because that record should already exist without k8gb. It's just hosted on a different DNS server.
yeah, that might be one of the scenarios, but I'm not sure, but I feel like here people want to actually like replace this record that we are talking about in this context, right? Like according to the healthiness of the applications that are tracked by KGB, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
anyway, it should be supported, yeah.
Yeah. We also might look into the like a possible integration, right? More closer integration, like I don't know, the source of IP in more like automated way, but like maybe like just overriding annotation is a good start, right?
Yeah.
So we can include it somewhere in 1.1 or something. I don't want to increase the scope of 1.0, something like that. What do you think? Make sense? Cool.
When
Cool.
is what's the date for 1.0?
Well, whenever we are ready.
Okay. All right. So this one we got through. Okay, then there's a couple of more items for discussion on here. So there's a Slack-based discussion. Let me see if I can find this one here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so this is to do with this is the question from the community member, right?
Yep.
Can you pull it over?
Yeah.
Yes, can you see it?
Yeah. So it appeared last night, and I think it actually makes sense. So to summarize, if what I understood from the request is like everything works for this community member, but there is like a case, and I think I have a feeling that we discussed in one of the KubeCons, but we never implemented it. So basically the scenario, like, so currently we are tracking pod application health checks transitively through service endpoint array, right? So if service endpoint array associated with ingress service application, if it has more than one member, then we consider the application as healthy, right? So meaning like pod level health checks passing. In this request, a person asks about scenario like what happens, how k8gb reacts if the actual core ingress controller is down, meaning like no traffic is able to pass to the application in reality, and we are not tracking it at all. And the question is, is it k8gb responsibility? Like I still need to kind of evaluate it in more and discuss with you folks if it makes sense or not. High level, logically, it makes sense because like, nothing goes through the traffic. On the other hand, we make it like as much agnostic as possible to ingress controller, right? And tracking some ingress controller health is questionable here. So what do you think?
Top of mind, no. Knee-jerk comment is, for me, a possible technical approach for this would be not tracking specifics, but scraping metrics. Because today we're talking about is the ingress controller up? And then someone is going to say, oh, but if the CPU on the ingress controller is above 80% or whatever. And eventually, this to me is a pattern where for this use case and many others, the option of saying you're going to scrape Prometheus metrics and run a query, and if this is true, cool, we're healthy. If not, consider this as well in your decision, or something like that would be more future-proof.
Yeah, definitely. I like this direction. So it's kind of custom health checks, right? In some form. Yeah. No. Can I ask you to create like an issue for that? Because you have a vision in your mind already. You have a nice layout. That would be cool. I think it's something like, advanced feature for the next phase, but that might be totally cool. Like ability to create like this, affect the custom logic, and even create some form of these end-to-end HTTP checks, right? So some people are missing them, right? So like you get the data from some end-to-end check. What we discussed after one of the KubeCon sessions, right? It was one of the questions, how to actually extend the health status with some also external data, not only Kubernetes native data. Yeah. That's
But that's kind of the pattern that, and not taking up too much time, but that's kind of the pattern, for instance, for k8gb autoscaler. You get the metrics provider configured in it, you set up a query, and you decide based on the outputs.
And we have one of the core maintainers who is working for k8gb nowadays, so maybe we can do some code.
All right, we have about 6 minutes left, so I'll jump on to the next one if that's all right. This is
coming from Andrea.
Yep. Say again. I'm pulling it in. See it? There we go.
Yeah, that's a good one. I forgot about this. So, Michal, it's actually action point for you to evaluate the possibility to move out from APSA this specific repo, right? And so if I remember correctly, in GitHub, there is a transfer capability for repositories. So one initiator, presumably you, if you have access rights, you initiate transfer to k8gb.io org, and I need to accept on my side as a k8gb.io org admin, and it should be easy. But we need to associate access rights. So can you please double check it?
Yeah, I will run it.
Cool, thank you, man.
All right, easy enough. The next one is also for you, Michal, the k8gb domain ownership. I don't know if there's been any more information on that.
Yeah. I don't have permissions for that. I was checking it, so we have to ask Dinar, and if he doesn't have proper permissions, maybe we should ask our pro team.
Should I maybe I can ping Donovan directly if it helps? What do you think? Or he's currently not available?
Yeah, maybe you can ping him.
Okay, cool. I'll do it.
All right. And the rest of these things, I'm just looking. I marked these as follow-up because they've been on the agenda for a little bit. So, is there something new that anybody wants to talk about in the last couple of minutes before we take a look at any of these any further?
Just a quick message that I'll be reaching out to a couple of people to see if they're available for testimonies to put into the video.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Sounds great.
That's great. Yep. I saw the script that you made already, and I was shocked at how wonderful it is, and that you've already put so much effort into it. So this is great. All right then. So we've got this one. Yuri's going to talk with Donovan. This one, Nuno, you've already reached out to some people. Yuri, this is just about the issue cleanup on the board. I don't know if you've got anything else to say about that.
Can you open, like, maybe we can quickly evaluate the scope? I think Michal wasn't around last time. So let's just look at this one.
This is the best view, or do we want to look at which one? Maybe this one. Let's see.
Yeah, whatever is.
Looks
Yeah,
the same.
it's like on the top. It's okay actually. Like first 6 rides they open. So 1.0 preparation, release spread brain. So basically the main one is I think number 4. So fill the GCP feature gap. So high level plan. I will implement it. Nuno will test it. Does it work? No. Cool. Yeah. So I'll try to squeeze into my time, prepare some, PR, and whenever you have a chance, just, end-to-end test it, and we are good, I think. Yeah, it will be like enough test cycle for this one. When we implement it, it will automatically close number 5 at support for public clouds, and I'm speaking about numbers in order here in this column, like it's actually 53, right? And yeah. Michal, as score maintainer, what do you think? Like, is the scope okay for 1.0? It's mainly about GCP, basically. The rest,
Yeah.
method, yeah.
It's basically about GCP. Maybe we can do this rename core DNS CRD plugin as well.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do it together with the transfer, because we will transfer it to some new repo anyway.
Yeah, I think as a part of release preparation, we need to review the state of repository in general, right? Like a current layout. So for 1.0, it will look like a perfect, consistent, and maintainable. Cool. All right, thanks. So it sounds like a plan. So GCP on overall kind of house cleaning from a repository standpoint. Does it sound good for other folks? And then we can, marketing 1.0 release, support of all 3 hyperscalers and more. And yeah. And it will be probably important part to CNCF incubating application. So Bradley, if you have any updates or just plans there.
Yeah, we've just got a couple minutes here, so I will just say quickly that that the last thing on here, there's an incubating application, work in progress. It's a work in progress. Nuno, I saw that you talked about it in the last call, so I won't say too much. But what I will say is we're just going through the issues there. There's about 45 tasks that need to be completed. We've got about 25 of them done already. Some probably are that we just haven't looked at yet. Not all of them are required. One of the things that I'm looking at right now is actually the vendor neutral component. And since these calls are hosted through an Upbound link, I think it probably is one of the things we need to do soon is start using either the CNCF Zoom or something else, which isn't an Upbound Zoom, for example. So there's tickets for these things, which are linked off of this issue. Yeah, it's just one of the little things that we need to check as we go along.
Sounds great. Cool.
Anything else in the last minute?
Just a quick question about the application, like, from documentation standpoint. What's your feeling after evaluation? Is it like too heavy or achievable, something?
The incubation application itself, or
Yeah.
oh, it looked at the beginning like it was going to be a lot of work, but I think a lot of stuff is already done. It's just a matter of basically corralling it all into one place and saying this is really, there's just a long list of things. If I look at it very quickly, there's a long list of things, and it basically is you have to check off all of these things, right? So this was not the one. This was that's not exactly the one I was looking at, but if I go, where was it? Is this one? Here it is. Right. So this is literally, there's an issue template. You copy the issue template. I've looked at a few that have been submitted recently, and it really is just like this. You just check off the things and you put, evidence for your claim. So in this one, it's give a presentation, engage with the domain specific tag to increase awareness. This actually happened already on April 1st, 2021. It's not recorded, but it is referred to in the tag network meeting notes, right? I also put something else in here afterward, which I'm not seeing now, which was a link that I think you had provided in a comment, Yuri, to the sandbox onboarding, I think. Yeah. So this is also referred to up there as some kind of evidence that you've already been through this and done this, right? All the project metadata being vendor neutral. So you see there's a, you know, a short epic on that with a few things attached, a few issues attached. So project website self-hosted, GitHub repo self-hosted, Slack CNCF hosted, mailing list hosted, LinkedIn self-hosted, all of those things, they're not hosted by a particular vendor. And those are things that need to be, you know, and that's where the Zoom thing comes in. So yeah, it's just a matter of going through these things, right? And this due diligence review, this gets done by the TOC sponsor when the ticket is created, right? And then we can check that off. So some of these things are not, they have to be looked at. I haven't looked at them yet, but all of these required things are checked off. Most of the community things are checked off. So we're at technically 25 out of 44 things at the moment. I think it's moving along well. I haven't spent a lot of time on it. So it won't take too much time, I think.
Cool. Thanks a lot for this, Sarah.
Yeah, at least to get that part, all those check boxes ticked and then something submitted won't take a long time.
Yeah, nice. Okay, sounds great.
All right, we're at the time. Thanks a lot, everybody. Reach out on Slack if you need something. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Bye.
See you, bye.
Bye bye.